Welcome to the second incarnation of the Mystery Journal for 2026. This notebook will be entirely celestial themed and set up for every month from July to December. It's my first foray into a blackout notebook, so I'm learning a lot. But this journal isn't destined to stay with me. In fact, it could be yours. Stay tuned for giveaway information later in the video. Hi, I'm Erin, and I'm so excited to be taking on this new challenge. I have to give a big shout out to the folks at Archer and Olive who kindly supplied me with this lovely blackout journal. This one was actually from their Halloween collection in 2025, and the foiling on the front is holographic. Check out the rainbows it throws when you tilt it into the light. I've been keen to try a blackout journal for a while now, and this just felt like the perfect opportunity, especially since every theme inside this journal will be celestial in nature. What a perfect match to the cover, don't you think? Even the inside end sheet has these lovely holographic stars. The first page in any notebook is always a little bit awkward. It tends to want to sit next to the end sheet rather than sitting flat on its own, and I like to reinforce the spines of my journals because I work them pretty hard, so I'm actually just going to glue this page to the end sheet and pretend it doesn't exist at all. Then we'll get started on our cover spread. I went ahead and cut some elements out of vinyl for this setup. A lot of them I actually won't be able to use because this vinyl is very flimsy and some of the titles didn't work out so well, but I will be using all the decorative stars and the 2026 heading. I wanted to start out with something very impactful and dynamic, so I have torn a Dutch door halfway down my first right-hand page, and I'm cutting a washi sheet to fit in the space behind it, so that should peek through once I place it down behind the Dutch door. Whenever I'm adding scrapbook paper or something like this into my journal, if I can round the corners before I place them, that always makes things a lot easier. And please excuse my head peeking into frame, that will happen a few times here. I discovered while working on this blackout paper that my eyesight is not what it used to be. It's so funny, isn't it? Because this journal is pretty standard in most of the ways that I'm used to. It has A5 pages, it has dot grid paper, but the fact that the pages are black completely changes the way that you have to approach a notebook like this. You can see that that washi sheet on the right side there has lost quite a bit of its saturation because sitting on white paper it would look pink, but in here it's kind of just giving a little bit of a touch of pink. That's okay because it matches with this washi tape I'm placing down now. But everything behaves differently on black paper, at least visually. You have to be so careful about the pens that you choose, about the washi tapes you use, even about the way you adhere things to your page in some cases. Let's get our 2026 header down on the page here. I actually should have started from the 6 and worked my way backwards, and I will have to change my approach and do that still because I haven't left enough room to add the 6 here. That's okay, we can still remove these okay. It didn't rip up any paper when I peeled these numbers back up. Sometimes I go into my journal setups with a very clear plan of what I'm going to do, and sometimes I just wing it. And in this case, I was completely winging it, and I think you can tell. So just in case you haven't come across my mystery journal project before, what is it all about? I'd love to tell you. So I like to set up a journal for someone else without actually knowing who that someone else is. My job is making videos about stationery for YouTube, so while setting up my own journal to match my lifestyle works really well for me, I feel like it's not always the greatest inspiration for a lot of other people who are watching. Hence the mystery journal. I love the challenge of trying to set up a journal that could be universally usable by anyone who might end up with it, and it also gives me an opportunity to use up some more of my stationery because goodness knows I have way too much, as well as potentially dabbling with some stationery items that are a little bit outside of my own style, but maybe would resonate with quite a few of my viewers, so the mystery journal actually solves so many problems for me in one go. The washi tape set I'm using here is probably the hero of this setup. It's from Notebook Therapy and I've had it for a while. It's called Moonlit Blush. It hasn't been in stock for a while now. I'm not sure if it's been discontinued or if it's just out of stock, but it's absolutely gorgeous, so I loved getting the opportunity to use it on these pages, and of course it fits my celestial theme really well. Obviously, I won't be able to link you to that particular washi tape set, but I'll try my best to link you to everything else that I'm using in this video down below, as well as maybe some alternate options that give a similar vibe. I cut so many little star stickers for this setup, and I ended up using so many of them too, which is fantastic. They're the perfect little space filler. I love how shiny and twinkly they are. This vinyl is very, very reflective. And as much as I'm disappointed that my titles didn't work out in vinyl, it did give me the opportunity to use this pen from GIVEAWAY𖥔 and it's fantastic, so I'm very glad that my workaround turned out to be such a good one. This is one of GIVEAWAY's extra fine tip glitter markers. They come in a set of 24 and they're phenomenal for a black page journal. Can we just take a moment for that shine? It's so satisfying. If you're a magpie like me, let me know in the comments. We can already see half of one of the pages here, so let's just carry on and add a quote page here right underneath the cover page. I almost consider it an extension of the cover page because it doesn't really have a function besides just being a nice thing to look at. I love lining the edge of my pages with a little bit of paint marker in a journal like this because it just gives it a bit of definition. This is another sticker that I cut myself. I got that one from Cricut Design Space, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to be wrapping my quote around it. I thought I'd show you my real-time lettering speed to start with here because I actually go really slowly and you can't always tell in my videos when I have sped up the footage, so that's an idea of how long this might actually take me. Naturally, I have chosen a quote to go here that is also based in a celestial theme. This one is from an author called Sarah Williams, and it reads, "I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night." I messed up my lettering a little bit on stars there, but it's okay because I have a black acrylic marker and it's going to help me hide all of my mistakes. I also recently learned about the Greek letter D in lettering, and I'm a little bit obsessed with it at the moment, so I'm using a lot of the Greek D in my lettering at the moment. I'm finding with some extended use here of this grabby pen that it needs a little pump. You know how sometimes you have to push down the nib of an acrylic marker to get the flow happening really well again? Once I did that, all of the color came back, so I'm going to trace over some of my letters in a slightly daring move to make sure I have some nice saturation on all of them. There's a little bit of space down the bottom of my page here that I'm going to fill with some washi tape, and then all of my blank spaces around the lettering I'm going to fill up with as many stars as I can fit. Now that I have a little galaxy surrounding my quote, I wanted to tell you about another galaxy I made recently. I've been really trying to spend less time scrolling and spend more time away from screens lately. I think a lot of us are craving tactile analog hobbies this year. Every now and then I like to dabble in a little bit of painting, so I took a painting class on Skillshare, today's video sponsor, and learned how to paint a watercolor and gouache galaxy just for fun. The class I took is called Create Celestial Galaxies with Watercolor and Gouache with Raylene Samuels, and I couldn't recommend it enough for beginner painters like me. Raylene's instructions are so easy to follow, and since galaxies are very swirly and colourful and star-filled and indistinct anyway, it's basically impossible to mess up, no matter which colours you choose or how much you blend or don't blend, or if you add lots of splattery little stars or just a few. I found it so relaxing to just get out of my head and make something for my own enjoyment with absolutely no pressure on it. Raylene walks you through some watercolor basics, and there's a bit of a trust the process moment where I wasn't sure how it was going, but once you add the black gouache vignette around the edges, it really starts to come together. And splattering white paint everywhere to make the stars was so satisfying. I actually did some of my stars with a pearlescent soft pink, so they really do twinkle in the light. Whether you're trying to spend less time scrolling like me, get creative with a new hobby, or maybe even upskill for work, Skillshare is a really lovely place to learn from real people who are also industry professionals. With literally thousands of classes across all sorts of disciplines and skills and software, Skillshare is the perfect place to reconnect with your creativity and step away from the brain rot a little. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Now let's tackle our next spread, which is going to be a future log. This is the point where I really realized my eyesight was letting me down. I'd penciled out my pages for this theme while I was at stash hangs under some fluorescent lights, and it was very easy to see my pencil lines there, but on my desk without my filming lights switched on, which is typically how I've decided is my best way to record. My filming lights sometimes reflect off PET tapes and things, so natural light has been working better for me up until now. Pals, I couldn't see a thing, even with my glasses on, which is why my head has to get all the way over the top of the pages to try and work out what I'd planned here. This is the first of 7 themes in this journal, so I was thinking at this stage, how am I going to do this if I can't see what I'm trying to do? And what's even funnier is that you can actually see the pencil marks somewhat okay on screen, so I just couldn't see them in real life. I don't understand the mechanics of it, I just can tell you that I couldn't see them. After this spread, I gave in and turned my filming lights on and it worked just fine, so things were a lot easier from that point on. Thankfully, once I had all of my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays down in the pink grabby marker, I was able to refer to my calendar on my phone and make sure I had all of my numbers correct. And the white paint marker I'm using here is one of the Archer and Olive acrylographs, and it is fantastic. I received these ones in the Halloween box last year as well, and I'd never used the acrylographs before. This is actually my first time using it on this very page. Actually, that's not true. I used it on my painted galaxy a little bit to add some extra stars, but I was really blown away with how beautifully it writes on dark paper, and I think it would make a really good correction pen for anyone using a white page journal too. I feel like the black page journal is quite niche. In the past, I've only ever done white pages for my mystery journal, so I'll be making sure to send some paint markers along with this journal that will work on its paper, just in case the winner of the journal doesn't have anything like that in their collection already. I love the layout of this future log, but it was a little bit tricky to decorate considering I had mostly thick washi tapes, so I grabbed this one out of my collection. It's from Bloomsicle Paper Co., which is an Australian brand, and it was actually a gift with purchase. This one was a little freebie. It wasn't part of any of her sets, so it's not one I can link you to, unfortunately. I also used it in my fountain pen and ink journal quite a bit, and it's just such a lovely tape, so that worked out really well as a divider. Obviously, I need to leave some space here for planning, so the winner of this journal can write any events or birthdays or anything else they need to remember on these calendar pages, but I also wanted to make sure the theme was theming, you know, we have to have at least some continuity between the pages or they won't feel like they're all part of the same theme. We also have to have a visit from my cat Mitsu. He must bless every mystery journal that comes through my house. And I'm going to fill in all of the gaps with my little copper stars and moons. While we do that, I thought I'd let you know how to enter the giveaway for this journal in case you like the look of it and think you might want to use it for your own. Down in the description is a link to a Google form. I prefer a Google form for my giveaways because sometimes people don't see my responses to their comments, and if I get you to just leave a comment, maybe you won't know that you won, and that's very stressful. So Google form it is, because then I have your email. It's a pretty simple form. It'll just ask you to fill out your name, your email address, a checkbox as to whether or not you're subscribed to my channel, because you have to be subscribed to be eligible to win this journal. And you'll need to answer a question as well, and that question is, what is your favorite time of day? There is only one mystery journal, so there can only be one winner for this giveaway, and I'll be drawing that winner on Monday the 1st of June 2026. This giveaway is open internationally. We've moved on to our next spread now. This one is for setting some goals for the second half of the year, but I feel like it's a missed opportunity in a journal like this to just call it a goals page, right? So we're going with manifesting instead. I feel like celestial themes can pull more scientific or they can pull more mystical, and I'm definitely leaning into the mystical here. Something I want to point out about this notebook is that there are a few spots throughout where the glue seems to have bled through in the process of the notebook being bound, and in opening those pages they have ripped a little bit. There are a few instances of this throughout the notebook, but I think they cover pretty well with a bit of black paint marker when they're not too bad, and I will also be covering them up with ephemera with stickers and washi tape throughout the journal in other places too, so I just wanted you to know that that was a thing, because it will be this exact journal that is the prize, so it will also come with all of my mistakes and also some little flaws like that. I have deliberately set up this manifesting page in a bit of an open-ended way. I've added the heading at the top of the left page and left the right page mostly empty so that if you are somebody who has a lot that you want to manifest, if you like to set a lot of goals or break them down into lots of steps, you've got plenty of room to do that. But if not, if you only needed one page, then now you have the right page to use for a different purpose. Maybe you want to add some trackers. Maybe you'd like to have something that records the weather each day or the phases of the moon. I considered adding the moon phases myself, but apparently they're different according to different parts of the world, so that wasn't possible. But this can be a double-page manifesting spread if you like, or just a single one if that's more your style. Our next spread is all about finances, which is maybe a lot less fun than manifestation, but is definitely an important thing to know and understand. I have a dedicated cash flow journal that I use for tracking all of my money coming in and out and where it's going and where it's coming from. And so I like to make sure that's available in the mystery journal too, so the winner of this journal can plan their finances in their journal as well. I haven't needed to clean a ruler in quite a while, but using this acrylograph with my ruler, it's something I had to do quite frequently, so that's something to note about Black Page journals. Get ready to clean your ruler a lot. This spread is consisting of 3 tables and an extra open space that is, again, adaptable to whatever the winner of this journal needs. In the top left corner, there is a spending log, so you can add some categories down the left side in the first column for whatever you tend to spend money on. You might have one that's for life expenses like rent or mortgages and phone bills and utilities. The next one might be vehicle expenses, and then you might have a category just for stationery like I do. You haven't seen any of the setups later on in this journal yet, but if you've seen any of my previous mystery journals, you'll know that there'll be a spending log page within each of the monthly setups as well, so you can track all of your spending by category there and then migrate that data back to your overall spending log back here. Right underneath the spending log is a bills tracker, excuse me Mitsu, I can't see. This is a place to write down all of those bills that only come around every year or every 6 months so that they don't sneak up on you and hit you with an outlay that you weren't expecting. And the table on the top of the right side is for savings and debts. So every month you can check in with any savings goals that you have that you're working towards and see how much they've increased, and also the same idea with debts but in reverse. So you can check in with any debts you have, see how much you've paid off from one month to the next, and try and get those debts down. The rectangle at the bottom of the right page is kind of a choose your own adventure space. This could be for writing down some general money goals. If you have any goals that you'd like to hit, say you want to save for an emergency fund, write that down there. Or say you have a particular item that you want to buy that you're saving for, like a new computer or an upgraded phone, something that's pretty big and expensive, you could write that down there as well and then see how long it takes you to work towards it. You could use it for a $1,000 savings challenge. I've seen lots of those around the internet and they look really fun. Whatever would be the most useful for you is what you should use a space like this for. I love to build in some flexibility so that this journal could work for truly anyone. Continuing on now, our next spread is a really fun one. We're going to start with the left side here and I'm going to make a bingo board, but I'll be extending my decoration all the way onto the other side too to really link these pages together. I have come to absolutely love including a bingo board in all of my journals. I've got them in my reading journals. I've been known to do an annual bingo in my bullet journal, sometimes even just a seasonal one. You can make them as difficult to achieve or as easy to achieve as you like. And there's plenty of inspiration out there online if you need some ideas for some prompts for your bingo board. But for this one, I wanted things to feel a little bit magical, a little bit inspired by the movements of the sky, if you will. And I've made sure that a few of the prompts also relate to other pages in the journal too. So this one is a 5x5 bingo with the center square being a free space. And each of the squares within the bingo board are 4 dot grid spaces tall and 4 dot grid spaces wide, which is the same kind of spacing I typically like for my calendars, funnily enough. And I'm very much coming at this with a bit of a self-care slant, so lots of things that are cozy and enjoyable and relaxing to do. On the top row, we've got watch the sunset, light a candle, gratitude log, take a slow walk and tidy a corner. The second row, we've got cup of tea, reread a favorite book, no screen evening, look at the stars and declutter something, anything. On the third row, we've only got 4 here because of the free space in the middle. Write a letter to yourself, which actually relates to the next page we'll set up, you'll see. Tarot/oracle cards, go to bed early, and journal for 5 minutes. That can be whatever kind of journaling resonates with you. It doesn't have to be particularly writing in a notebook. It can be memory keeping or updating your bullet journal, anything at all. On the 4th row, we have make a comfort snack, listen to music, watch the clouds, make something, and take a long bath. And on the bottom row, we have spend time in nature, make a collage page, write down a wish, watch the moon rise, and make a dopamine menu. Which, if you haven't come across the concept of a dopamine menu before, it's essentially a page or a list that celebrates all of the things that you love to do that make you happy, that give you a little dopamine hit. The fact that this journal covers 6 months gives you a bit of a time frame to try to achieve all of these things in. But outside of that, you can try to tackle these in whatever way feels best to you. So maybe you'll complete more than one of these tasks in a single day, and you might allow yourself to tick those ones off together, but maybe you might be like, no, I can only do 1 a day, or maybe 1 a week. It's completely up to the interpretation of whoever ends up with this journal, or you if you're including something similar in your own journal. So choose your own adventure with your bingo. I did just foreshadow this a little bit on the bingo board page, but the next page is for a letter to yourself. I've had these craft paper envelopes forever, I just don't seem to be able to use them all up, and I've popped in a piece of my favourite William Morris writing paper inside. The idea here is that you write a letter to your future self, so this journal will cover 6 months. Maybe you write the letter in late June or early July, but you don't open it and read it again until the journal's period has finished. So maybe that's a New Year's tradition, or you could do it on the 1st of January. And of course, this can be anything that you want it to be as well. This could be your hopes and dreams for the coming 6 months. It could be a snapshot of who you are now that you can compare to who you are in 6 months' time to see what has changed, your favorite things, music, food, television shows, colors, anything at all could go in that list. It's another choose your own adventure moment. There are no rules here. It's just whatever feels good to you is the correct way to approach a project like this. Since the envelope actually takes up quite a bit of the A5 page space, the best way to attack the decoration here I found was just to decorate the envelope. It'll be somewhat stacked on top of the washi tape from earlier, but the envelope itself is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, and I'm actually surprised by how much I like the craft paper color with everything else that I've used. I feel like it almost ties into the warmth of the copper, which is very nice. Look at this shine. Oh, it's just exquisite. And our letter paper is tucked safely inside there, so we can move on to the next spread. This one actually doesn't have a purpose. This is one of my spare spreads, which I love to include in the mystery journal, again just to bake in some flexibility. The very mysterious nature of this journal means that I don't know where it will end up, or who it will end up with, or what their personal circumstances are, so of course I probably can't anticipate all of their needs. Therefore, a couple of pages that are just lightly decorated but not filled in with anything else gives them the opportunity to add anything that I haven't considered. I find trackers at the beginning of a journal quite difficult to set up, so I've decided not to include any this time around. I have in the past, but this is a space where you could add those if that was something that you decided you wanted to include. Or maybe a highlights page where you just list out or add photos of the really amazing things that happen over the course of the 6 months that you spend in this journal. It could be a great place for tracking books or video games or movies or TV shows if you don't have a dedicated media journal for that kind of thing. Oh, whoops, I ran off the rails with my ruler there. Lucky I've got a black acrylic marker to help me hide mistakes like that. And if you are the person who's going to end up with this journal in your life and you don't have a particular purpose for a page like this or the following one, which will also be a spare spread, that's okay. I like to send a little bit extra of the stationery that I use for each theme along with my mystery journals. So you could just have a fun time playing around with an extra quote spread, or just having a great junk journaling time with the extra stationery just to make something pretty for the sake of it. If you're so inclined, you could add something about your zodiac sign here and your predictions for the rest of the year, or swatch all your pens to see which ones work on the blackout paper, swatch all of your washi tapes just to have a record of your collection that you can refer back to very easily. There are a lot of options for these spare pages, so it's kind of fun to set them up and think about what they might become, even if I'll never really know for sure. What's crucial about a spare spread though is that I need to make sure I'm leaving lots of page space empty so that if there is a function that the winner wants to use the journal for, they have lots of room to do it. I just did some small corner collages on the previous spread and connected them with a line to make a little border. This time I'm doing what I call my columns layout, which is where I just add some strips of decoration on the outside edges of the pages and leave the center of the spread empty. When I set out on this theme setup, I wasn't sure I had enough of my little stars to get me through the whole setup, and I actually ended up making more halfway through, so I definitely have enough to do some extra decoration back here on my manifesting page now. This is something I've been doing a lot lately, is going back and adding more decoration at the end. Sometimes it takes a minute to get a feel for the stationery that you've chosen and how they work together, so I'm just going to link these two pages a little more solidly with some more shiny stars. Once those are all situated, I am happy to call it on this first setup in the mystery journal and say that this one is complete. Let's flip through it all from start to finish. If you like the look of this journal and could imagine yourself using it, please don't forget to enter the giveaway at the link in the description, fill out the Google form and go into the running to win this journal for your very own. It will be set up all the way through until December of this year, so you will be able to use it as your everyday journal if you'd like to. And I hope that you'll stay tuned to the channel over the next 6 months to see all of the monthly themes inside this journal too. They'll all be finished before I send the journal off to its winner, but you won't see them on my channel until the month before the month that the setup is for. So for instance, the August theme will go up in July. I still have so much to learn about the best ways to use a black page journal, so if you have any tips for me, I'd love to hear them. Please leave them in the comments down below, and I'll also be sharing my insights as I work things out along the journey too. If you'd like to see more about the mystery journal, here is a playlist of all of my mystery journal setups so far for 2026, as well as a link to a video that YouTube thinks you might enjoy.